first series 2-0. So is iAsonu going to continue to look strong in this group? If he does win this match, you would imagine he's got a very good chance of moving through the group, because then there's only Bjorn left to play, and he's already got 2 matches won. And that means that basically either XY or Nice are going to have to beat Bjorn to then at least tie up with iAsonu. So it will be an interesting series, and a lot of them line, because if iAsonu wins this, I do feel as though he's going to go through this group. I do feel as though he has the edge over his other players here. He's generally the favourite. But all of these players are very aggressive, I'd say, like iAsonu, Nice, XY. They all have very aggressive build orders. They'll play very aggressively a lot of the time. For example, right now, pull first very early from iAsonu. And so, for example, our Red Terran player who's XY to the bottom right, teammate of iAsonu, he might, he likes to go for some Hellbat attacks now and then. And 2 base timings. And these aggressive play styles are really, really powerful. And they can catch, other players off guard, and it can create weird games if both players try to be super aggressive. And so, I feel as though this group could kind of go any which way, but seeing iAsonu kind of already take down Nice, I feel as though he's definitely got a really good chance now, and yeah, I kind of feel as though it should be pretty good for him. You're going to be seeing this command center just continue to build then. Overlord coming through the center of the map from iAsonu as well. So let's just continue to head through the center, looking to see what's up and what's going to be going on. So this Overlord continue heading around towards the bottom right hand side. Another Overlord from iAsonu moving out through in towards the center as well. This command center will drop down out of our Terran player, who is for now just opening with a very standard Reaper based expansion. So in the early stages here, it's not going to be anything too crazy. Not even gas first Reaper, just straight up Reaper expand, and there's a second Rax coming down as well. So XY going to be looking towards 2 Racks in the very early stages of the game, and just looking to kind of build up into that very aggressive 5-minute timing attack with the 2 Medivacs and the 16 Marines. With Stim, of course. Reaper from XY just still having a little bit of a look around, just going across the map for the first time in this game. Really trying to pick up some information over here. We'll have a look to see whether there's going to be much going on in the main/natural expansion of iAsonu. Don't look as though he's too interested in kind of continuing on though. Just going to be backing away pretty quickly here actually. This Reaper going to back off a little bit, and we see a few Lings actually on the low ground. They've actually forced a cancel on the CC, so it is a pull first, and it was a very aggressive pull first, which means those Lings came across very early. And so forcing a cancel on the CC is somewhat to be expected, I guess, when this Reaper goes off across the map and he doesn't expect this at all. He just immediately rebuilds on the high ground, knowing that, hey, well, if you've got these many Lings so early, you've probably kind of slowed yourself down a lot anyways, and because of that, I'm not too worried about just having my CC slower. It's not ideal for me, but you more or less had to make me cancel the CC to be even in the game anyways, so XY just needs to make sure he doesn't get kind of too put off by this sort of opening at all. He's going to find another Zerglund up here, which means there's only 1 Ling left on the map, and it's actually holding the Watchtower, so it could be found by this Reaper. The Watchtower is not too ridiculous a place for him to end up checking here, so he might very well check that, and looks as though he will. He'll find the last Zerglund, so if the last Zerglund will go down, and it's a nice cleanup by the Reaper. He's going to pick up 5 kills in total, so pretty good time over there. 1 Ling is left actually over on the natural expansion, something which XY didn't realize. Looks as though this the SE that was built in the CC. Looks as though it did manage to survive off to the right side, so that's nice, being able to keep that alive. Is to see the Roach attack coming in as a follow-up, though. iAsonu is just going to go from one wave of aggression to the next, and it's going to be the Roaches to try and bring in victory here in game number 1 of this TVZ. So we're talking about aggression, and well, here's a perfect example of it. iAsonu making Roaches, making Lings, and just going completely all in the super early stages. You're going to see this one second. He is actually going to pick off 2 SCVs, having a pretty good time so far. Going to try and slow down the bunker as well. Marines positioned on the high ground currently. And as the Lings and Roaches continue to come across the map, will he try and hold the low ground with the bunker, or... Okay, it looks as though he will try and make this happen. The first couple of Lings coming forwards, they're not going to be too useful on their own. Needs the Roaches here as well. There's lots of gas for Ravagers though, and that's why maybe holding this bunker on the low ground isn't the ideal situation, because if Ravagers can bust this down super quickly, then you're just holding the low ground without really any defensive advantages if the bunker's already going down. So let's see what happens. You're going to see some Ravagers popping in. Corrosive Ravagers just attacks onto the Reaper, doing a fair amount here already. Now moving up this ramp, we're going to be seeing SCVs just pulling away to the side. SCVs are going to be losing the bunker. They just can't repair in time, and Marines just shouldn't be down here. You just can't hold this low ground. That being said, I mean, Medivac's starting to come in. He will lift up some of the Marines, so he will evacuate to some extent. 8-Wick is killed. He can pull up to the high ground. Now there's only really Ravagers left. I mean, corrosive battles are annoying, but past that, well, the Marines actually have a fairly decent time against them. I just wonder if there's enough of them. There is stim now finished, so you can stim forwards and start picking off those Ravages very effectively. You can see the Command Center on the low ground taking some more damage. A drone coming across the map as well with these Zerglings. A little bit of a misclick there by iAsonu. As you'll see XY trying to just retake this base, stepping away, he gets rid of the Zerglings, and now he can step in towards those Ravagers, although he does run into some corrosive bars. That's not ideal in this situation. You want to keep everything alive that you can. There's going to be a hold here from XY. I did not really like him holding the low ground. I feel as though if he held the high ground to begin with, he could have just saved everything, waited until Stim and Medivacs, and then attacked and just won much more easily. Without kind of losing too many units kind of before he kind of got up into a very powerful stage. Morning's going to run in here, so iAsonu's not done just yet, and the depots are down on the high ground, which means that actually he has access up here, and that actually might just be the move which still wins this game for iAsonu, because he goes in towards the main base mineral line, and damage starts to be done. These Marines are joined up together on the natural, but there's just so many Lings, and they're just going to be fighting these SCVs in the main base. Lots of SCVs going down here, 11 in total, and that puts XY down to 17 workers. I mean, beforehand he was only 10 to 13 workers behind, which is sort of okay when you're on 2 command centers. But in this situation now, 17 to 40, well, double orbital will definitely help you recover, but it's definitely not guaranteed. As iAsonu as well, the good thing about this is he can very freely make units now to make sure he can keep on defending. He can very freely make units to make sure he keeps on defending, rather than having to kind of sacrifice drones. He already knows he's in a worker lead, so he can make those units without care, can defend this attack, and then go back into drones after that once again. His third hatchery just finished up. Obviously, to some extent, he's going to be lacking tech here, as Lair's going to be very late, especially considering the Stim combat shield's already up for the Terran player, but sheer number of units should just be enough here for iAsonu. Already, you can just see XY going to lift up those units into the Medivacs, does not want to bother trying to commit here, and we're just going to be seeing a few Marines just unloading over to the right-hand side. So, a few Marines unload to the right-hand side. Roach and Ravage are going to drop more biles and look to see what else they can get up to. One of those Medivacs getting low already, getting hit by a bile. He's just going to lift up and leave. Not enough units, too many units here from iAsonu. Whose Lair is about to finish, and I wonder if he just switches into like a Mutalisk build, like a Spire. It sounds ridiculous, but, well, before he put the double Evo chamber down, it doesn't look as though he's going to have anything to spend his gas on anytime soon. Besides, it's going to be the +1/+1 upgrades, the roach speed as well. I mean, obviously with the double Evo chambers, it's very obvious that he's not going to play Mutalisk, so much less likely. But until then, I mean, he had 400 gas in the bank and absolutely no sign of doing anything with it. I mean, roach speed doesn't really cover you for 500 gas, so there's a little bit interesting. But anyways, here we go, upgrades starting to come on in. And it is again those missile upgrades, just to confirm he will be playing this Roach Ravager playstyle. And his main goal here is probably to hit kind of a +1/+1 timing. That said, actually, I mean, a tank or two are going to get into very good position down here on the left side, and it's one thing iAsonu hasn't done, worked his way through those rocks. Well, it looks as though XY is going to do that for him, and he's just going to take these down and just allow iAsonu to sort of engage into this position a little bit more easily. Also allows him to move up this position as well, though, if he's feeling very confident about it, which he obviously is, otherwise he wouldn't be killing off the rocks. So, it opens up the rocks, and now we're going to see those Ravagers just still sat on the high ground, doesn't want to move too far forwards because he doesn't want to run into tank fire. Marines will start stimming a few corrosive bars to push back, and, well, once he gets a few corrosive bars to push this back, he doesn't really need to kind of keep on attacking. I don't think he's going to anyways. It's not that bad of a trade, I guess, because the Ravager's doing a pretty good job of trading here. Corrosive bars hitting onto these siege tanks. A few of them missing a lot of the time, though, actually. And you would have even been better off trying to hit the Medivacs with those. Maybe pick off another couple, as we're going to see 11 Roaches still building up in the main base. +1/+1, finishing here very soon from iAsonu. And we are just going to be seeing more units gathering towards the south side of the map. So more units gathering towards the south side of the map. This SCV is just being starting to build up a wall. 41 SCVs to the 53 drones. It's the fact that iAsonu is about to get so much Roach Ravage, and he's about to attack with it as well. You know, Roach speed finish, he's going to have +1/+1. This Roach army is going to be pretty darn strong. Now, there is going to be a lot of tanks here, and there is going to be tank effects to help defend. So that's one thing that will definitely benefit XY over the next few moments, but is he just going to have enough? I mean, 3 tanks is nice, but if these Roaches and Ravagers can just continue to close the distance, they might just be able to get enough damage done before the tanks really sort of clean up enough anyways. So he's just going to be moving out onto the map here, just going to be sitting towards the centers, upgrades finishing. I mean, he's making more units here. He's on only 60 drones, so you would imagine he is going to attack, although there's of course still a possibility that maybe he just says, well, actually I'm going to just not attack, and I'm actually going to go for a little bit of a different kind of way to make this work and just sort of go for 2-2 and just attack later. and really kind of keep on attacking. As you see, these tanks going to be sort of out of position. They get one volley off in the center of the map, which is, well, it's alright. But the fact that they're not home right now to actually defend when this main fight starts, well, that's the real problem here, because that's 3 tanks which are just missing out on multiple shots they could have had already. And that is really, really kind of a huge issue. As we see, tanks starting to take some damage across the bars, begin to connect. The tank attack, which just loads up there, gets taken down by a bile. And that's going to be GG from XY for game number 1. iAsonu will take the lead in the series, 1-0. In these spawns, though, because it is cross, but he should be fairly happy with that anyways. It's the Zerg favoured positions here on this 4-player map. To the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg playing this Invictus Gaming Showdown in our second match of the day in the Leifeng Cup. It is iAsonu here to the top left-hand side. And he is going up against the teal Terran player to the bottom right from Invictus Gaming as well. It is XY. As we set on up, have a look to see how exactly this is going to be going over the next few minutes of the game. Going to be seeing an SCV just sort of coming over the side, going to pop down a barracks and maybe drop down a depot over here as well very shortly. We'll see what build it's going to be as well. Obviously, that's going to be one of the more interesting things to see, whether it's going to be like a 2-racks build or whether we're going to see maybe a factory-based opening. Once again, out of iAsonu, the pool first though, so he's again opening in such a way that allows him to be aggressive early in the game. He's going to just go pool hatch, so a little bit more like what he was doing kind of against Nice earlier. Not quite as early a pool as it was in King Sejong Station, and just going to be looking to go pool, hatch, gas. And that means his link speed sort of comes up at a very standard time, about 3:30ish. But you will be getting the couple of signals on the map early as well, just to try and, well, take a little bit of a presence and see what he can get up to. We'll see what exactly he does here over the next few moments. So, let me see, the hatchery is going to be finishing up very soon. I'm just going to be seeing this SCV of XY just going to be coming over. I'm just going to be building up the command center in a moment or two. So there's this command center starting to build. You see a Reaper starting to come out from XY as well. And again, just seeing the command center just on the way down. So command center on the way down, we're going to be seeing the factory building up as well. And that means it's a racks and a factory opening. A little bit different from the 2 racks we saw in the last game. Obviously, we never really got to see that develop too well because of the attack early, which slowed him down significantly. But never really got to never got to kind of see that develop. But we'll see a different build all this time from XY, and he is a player who will oftentimes play, say, a kind of hellbat based attack. He'll be aggressive with something like this. So that's definitely sort of in the possibilities of what could happen here over the next few minutes. As we see this Reaper from XY just going to be moving down the right and just having a little bit of a look to see what's going to be happening next. So Reaper coming down the right hand side, will be moving into position as the single Zergling from iAsonu. It's going to be kind of running towards that SCV there. And Reaper just picking away at this Zergling. So Reaper picking away at the link. And the Zergling is going to go down. And a couple of Marines just starting to build up on this barracks, which is interesting. Rather than, he actually lifted the factory as though he was going to swap it over, but then he didn't. He's going to build a tech lab there instead. So a little bit of indecision from XY as to maybe how he wanted to do this. Maybe he was just wanting to reposition it. So maybe he just wanted to reposition it or something. I'm not too sure. Anyways, tech lab is coming up on the factory, and starport is going to be finishing as well very, very soon. And we'll see exactly what direction he takes. Should just be like the Widow Mine drop. Yeah, so Widow Mine drop into like a tank attack follow-up. It makes the most sense of the sort of structures which he's set up here in the super early stages. And we've seen 3 queens gathering together from iAsonu towards the front as well. So they're just going to be gathering themselves. iAsonu with an overlord down to the bottom side of the map too. We're going to be looking to see what is going to be going on here. So just going to be seeing the Zergling taking the watchtower and just some map control being established in the earlier stages. And there's that drop going across the map. So a little bit of aggression here from XY in the early game. I mean, obviously if you can kill off some works with this, if you can slow stuff down, get some Widow Mine connections, this would be nice. In general though, I mean, he's still got a fairly decently kind of macro-focused follow-up. So even if he doesn't kill too many units here, he should have been able to force enough out to put himself in a good position. As the third CC comes down, he goes straight into 2 extra racks. Sim's already started. Just didn't even mess around building a siege tank here. Maybe a little bit greedy even, not building a siege tank, just going straight in towards Stim. But that's just obviously the choice he makes, as we do see this drop coming in towards the main base, and well, Zergling's going to run right on in here, already looking to be kind of underneath the medevac. So, medevac, Zergling's just going to be underneath the medevac, and yeah, just going to see the Queen starting to target that down. So, in fact, taking quite a lot of damage. Going to boost away over to the right-hand side. I'm going to see one Wooden Mine just going to burrow here over on this base. And again, this hatchery is mining quite happily as the third base right now. I assume going to lose an Overlord, so that's actually a pretty nice pick off. There's another Overlord at the front as well, and that's actually supply blocking iAsonu at the moment. So, he needs to be a little bit cautious about this. I mean, these Overlords are very exposed. This one's going to be protected by the Queen coming in. He was going to target down the medevac. The medevac will pull back. One transfuse used. Second transfuse also used. It's actually going to turn out okay for him because these Marines can't get to the medevac because of the low health in the medevac. So he saves one Marine, saves the Reaper. And that's about it. And actually that Overlord, after seeing the death of his brother, I really thought he was done for as well. But he was brave, he stood tall, and the two Queens kept him alive, and he baited in about 6 Marine kills. So that was really nice. Picking up 5 Marines. Yeah, that actually worked out very well for iAsonu in the end. I mean, killing off 5 Marines for a couple of transfuses is great. I mean, obviously transfuses are nice to have, but if you can use them to trade out for units, well, it's a resource, the energy. It's a resource that recovers itself for free. You just need time, so it's pretty nice. As we're going to see SCVs coming in, they're just going to repair up this medevac and look to see what they can get up to. You see an Overlord just sat overhead here, and we're going to see these Queens just pushing out towards the front. Going to put down some creep tumors. Some creep tumors are going to start coming down and just starting to spread out in towards the center of the map. So, start to spread out in towards the center here, having a little bit of a look to see what exactly they can get up to. And as we just see the creep spread being kind of established, it's really nice. Really good creep spread so far from iAsonu, already pushing out towards the center. He's got some good creep to the right-hand side, and he's going to get some good creep to the left. Now, the one thing which is going to be interesting is the 4th base. Although in cross spawns it's not as much of an issue, generally the 4th base will come down over here. So that's what we're sort of looking at right now, seeing that 4th base come down in that position. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing. I mean, usually it is kind of difficult on Frost to take a 4th base, but in cross spawns it's not as difficult because it's not as easy to kind of punish those bases with kind of Terran pushes. And so the cross ones allows you to get up to 4 bases, but it still creates an issue on the 5th base, which is then still going to be quite far away. As this Wooden Mine going to burrow, and oops, going to get a connection on towards an Overlord there. Nothing too major, but still a little bit frustrating, as we're going to see this next medevac coming in as well. This Wooden Mine is going to go down before it burrows. No, it's not. It's going to get a big connection, isn't it? Oh, nice split away. Actually gets 5 drones in total here. It's pretty nice. Probably better to kill 5 drones than the huge clump of Zerglings. So that was okay. I mean, again, not the best of situations to lose anything, but considering considering what you lost, it was sort of okay. As we're going to be seeing these drones just going to continue to be hit by Wooden Mines. So it looks as though we just need the spores to come up to fix that. As XY positioned himself in the middle of the map with a couple of Wooden Mines, Marines, and medevacs. 1-1 done for both players in terms of the upgrades. And it's this sort of stage where the Terran does want to take map control. He does want to try and start slowing the Zerg down a little bit. Get rid of some of the creep, get rid of some of the control which he has, and just enable you to be in a better position when the game kind of goes a little bit later. Once the ultras come up, the less creep there is, the less kind of freedom the Zerg has, and so on and so on. But look at this run by here, actually. Wooden Mine. Oh ho ho! The Wooden Mine's 24 kills on one of them. Still, though, the Zerglings in the 3rd base, the Zerglings in the natural. The entire main army is coming back home to try and deal with this. 21 workers killed. Even the 24 kill Wooden Mine is not going to be enough to sort of save this here, which is ridiculous. 24 kills is a huge number. As we're going to see more Lings streaming in towards the 3rd base, as right now iAsonu is forcing his opponent to not split effectively. 27 workers killed. Here comes some Balins as well morphed in. As we're going to be seeing the Widow Mines are going to survive. They go off for not really a lot. In fact, splashing onto SCV is there. 38 workers now killed during this attack, and more Lings still streaming in towards the 3rd base. In fact, another Ling Vein here, I think, realistically, to keep on moving forwards. Another nice Widow Mine connection. Still some Marines, Zerglings in the main base are going to be distracting these Marines. 47 workers, 51 workers now killed. Well, this is just how you lose pretty much every single worker in about 2 minutes. GG. iAsonu takes game number 2, just like